For loop, here in this video we are going to learn about a new loop statement which is called for loop, and this loop will iterate over each element in a container one at a time, assigning the next element to a variable that can be used in the loop body. Let's explore this example. Here we have this print instruction, list iteration goes to output. Now next, we are having one container that's called list, and in the list we have three elements, classes, for and students. Now we want to iterate over all the three elements in the container list. So to do that, we need to use a variable I with the keyword for, and then in keyword, and then list name, the name that is given here for the list. So for each element which starts from the first element classes in the list, and if the classes is inside the list, then we need to print the first element. So that's why classes is getting printed. Now each time the I value will be automatically incremented and it will point to the next elements in the list, and like that, this I index will iterate over all the elements in the list and it will print the respective element each time through each iteration, as you see. Now let's see how to iterate over a string. Let's say we have a given string and how to iterate over the string through the for loop. So here let me restart it and then run our code to see what output you will have. Okay, so first list iteration is getting printed in the output. Now string is assigned with one string student. So here our task is to iterate over all the letters inside the string. So here what do you use? You need to use one variable to iterate over each element in the string, and that's why we are mentioning the variable str, and in each iteration it will print each value of the string individually. So this is what the syntax of for loop is. Let me show you something. Okay, so how to use a range function in for loop. So let's see what's our range function. So range function actually generates a sequence of numbers starting at 0 and ending before a value given inside the parenthesis. So to understand that, let's say this example. So if you mention like this range function and within it you pass 5, then here it will generate an integer sequence like this: 0 up to 5 minus 1, that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every integer from 0 to 4. So if you mention like this lower bound, upper bound, so it will generate the integer from the lower bound 0 up to the upper bound minus 1, that is 4. If you mention 3 and 7, so the first index will start from 3 and it will stop at 7 minus 1, that is 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Then next thing, another type of range function. So 0, 5, 1. So what it will do, the lower bound is 0, upper bound is 5. And here we need to switch over all the element in the list, every one integer. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, because we need to stop at 5 minus 1. If you mention like this 0, 5, 2, that means what? Every second integer, as you have to, it should iterate over every second integer in between 0 to 4. So that's 0, then 2, then 4. If you mention the 5, 0 and minus 1 like this, so here as we have minus 1, so it will go in a reverse order. So first it will start at 5 and then it should be 0, -1. So here, as we are going in the reverse order, we should stop at 1 and we shouldn't go to 0. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If we have 5, 0, -2, so every second integer beginning with 5 down to 1. So this is how the range function works. Let's see our example. Um, Here we are trying to um, see a different type of for loop which is called nested for loop, and in it we are trying to use our range function. So if you mention the range 1 to 5, so what should you have? The sequence of integers to be generated, that should be starting at 1 and stopping at 4. So for each I value within the range of 1 to 4, and for j value in the range of the I value in that iteration. So first it should print I. So here the first value I is 1, so that's why it is printing 1. Now after printing that, I value is 2. So j is now in the range of that I. So I is 2 and j will become again start from 1 here. So is j is in the range of I. So that's why it's printing 2 and 2. So like this, we use the range function over here, and this is the for loop. If nested for loop, if we have one for loop inside another one for loop, then in that case, this is the way we need to write. So if you want to write also to have another one for loop like this, for I will use another one variable to keep track of this within the range of let's say okay. So now let's see what happens now. Okay, so let's run the code and see what are we having. So when I value is 1 within the range of 1 to 5, so j value is 1 also. So k is in the range of j. So no, so the I value is not getting printed. Now for I value will if it's 2, then how it will work for j and k, so that we need to decide, and in this way it's printing all these values. Okay, so this is the way where you can have one for loop inside another one for loop. So that's all the for loop syntax is.